Hey Muggles! Welcome to Which Hogwarts House, the video series where I take the role of the Sorting Hat, examining characters from different franchises and deciding which Hogwarts house they will be placed in. Today, I am joined by fellow YouTuber Matthew Chapman, coming from Grey Jedi 91.
Hey there, No-Mages. Today we'll be diving into the head of Eddard Stark, the former Lord of Winterfell. Without further ado, let's get right into it.
Oh, and spoiler alert for all things Game of Thrones. You have been warned. First, let's see how well Ned Stark soars into Gryffindor. The House of the Lion was known for bravery, courage, determination, and pride. But the house was also known for those who were headstrong, reckless, and short-tempered. Littlefinger says it best.
The Starks. Quick tempers, slow minds.
And this is true. Ned did share this quality with Gryffindor. Say or do the wrong thing and he could certainly go off. But this is hardly his typical way of expressing himself. More often than not, he shared the positive qualities of Gryffindor, such as bravery and courage, serving dutifully under Robert Baratheon against Aerys Targaryen, the Mad King.
As Albus Dumbledore would say to Neville Longbottom,
"It takes a great deal of bravery to stand up to your enemies, but a great deal more to stand up to your friends."
When the small council and King Robert decided Daenerys Targaryen, along with her unborn child, must be killed, only Ned stood in her defense.
I followed you into war. Twice. Without doubts. Without second thoughts.
She dies.
I will have no part in it.
Even as a younger man, there were no limits to Ned's bravery. He proved this by squaring off against Sir Arthur Dayne, the best sword in the realm. He knew he and his men were outmatched, but he also knew what needed to be done, and faced the challenge without batting an eye.
One could even say that standing up to the Lannisters and their plot to assassinate Robert Baratheon was a great show of courage. All in all, Gryffindor would be a very suitable place for Ned Stark, but of course, the Sorting Hat would consider the other houses as well.
Secondly, we have the House of Badgers, who are known for hard work, patience, loyalty, and fair play, though they were a bit gullible for it.
Ned Stark was essentially the Boy Scout of the North, honor-bound and a noble. Our first interaction with the character showcases his dedication to honor, executing a Castle Black deserter, to which he says,
The man who passes the sentence should swing the sword.
This mentality carries over to the rest of Ned's day-to-day. When it comes to the law, Eddard does not question it, nor does he alter it or bend it to his own favor. He sticks to it true and firm, and he expects everyone else to hold themselves to the same standard in turn.
This is why King's Landing is not a suitable place for him, and his interaction with his citizens displayed their lack of honor and Ned's abundance of it.
When he confronted Cersei Lannister with the truth of her family, he played the honor card, warning her of the things he would accuse her of, when he should have been playing the game of snakes, making his accusations behind her back.
And if Joffrey seems likely to cause problems when he comes into his throne, we simply reveal his little secret and seat Lord Renly there instead.
When looking at the unfavorable attributes of Hufflepuff, Ned also aligns with their gullible natures.
I did warn you not to trust me.
Going back to the small council scene revolving around Dany, Ned questioned the validity of the information presented purely on the merits of Jorah Mormont's honor.
You bring us the whispers of a traitor.
Jorah Mormont's a slaver, not a traitor. Small difference, I know, to an honorable man.
He's right to tell Robert that it's wrong to kill a mother and child just for the sake of revenge and continue the vicious cycle, but saying that Jorah's words couldn't be trusted because of who he was is too dismissive. But with all that said, these qualities, both favorable and unfavorable, align rather closely with the tenets of Hufflepuff.
Next up we have Ravenclaw, the House of the Eagle, known for their wit, learning, and wisdom.
Now, we definitely would not call Ned Stark an idiot.
He brought you here, Ned Stark, because you're the brightest fellow in the land. Ooh.
But certainly, no one would mistake this guy for a maester. His strength was in his sword, rather than his mind.
He was an educated man, as all highborns were, but Ned viewed and judged situations based on his own moral parameters, rather than logic. And unlike a maester, he did not seek knowledge for knowledge's sake.
When speaking to Cersei Lannister, he failed to realize what motivated her, and it certainly wasn't the law. It was as though he had no concept that the law meant absolutely nothing to her, yet he was confident she would uphold the word of her deceased king.
The Sorting Hat wouldn't take too much time with Ravenclaw, looking into other houses better suited for the Lord of Winterfell.
The House of Slytherin. Proud, ambitious, and cunning, infamous for the substantial amount of dark wizards they turned out. But these qualities derived from their favorable attributes, which included resourcefulness, determination, and leadership.
Ned loosely aligns with Slytherin by way of their determination and leadership. But that was about it. His short career as the King's Hand showcased how poorly he would do in House Slytherin. After all, King's Landing, at the time, was filled with many Slytherin types. A lot of cunning, a lot of backstabbing, and a whole lot of ambition. They don't call the show Game of Thrones for nothing.
We've seen how terribly Ned functions in such an environment. Even when presented with a favorable solution from Peter Baelish, he denied it to retain his honor. And this decision ultimately led to his head being lopped from his shoulders.
The final decision will fall between Gryffindor and Hufflepuff. Ravenclaw and Slytherin simply do not project Eddard Stark.
He's no dimwit, but he ain't a maester either. He's definitely proud and a natural leader, but his core trait could never be mistaken for ambition.
In fact, his sensibilities were the inverse of ambition, which makes a case for Hufflepuff pretty strong.
But we cannot forget his courage, which makes a case for Gryffindor rather solid.
But when deciding between Gryffindor and Hufflepuff, we must look at what is Ned Stark's perpetual personality traits. A single instance of courage is not synonymous with Gryffindor. A single example of loyalty does not place you into Hufflepuff. A single occasion of wit does not a Ravenclaw make, and a single case of ambition does not make you a Slytherin.
When it comes to deciding a house for a character, it's not just about which qualities they align with, but which qualities have the strongest alignment. Yes, Ned could be placed in either Gryffindor or Hufflepuff quite nicely. He has showcased the bravery and honor of each house, and he would prosper and blossom in both. But there is one house that truly aligns with his sensibilities more fiercely than any other, and all of this revolves around his bastard son, Jon Snow.
We know that Ned Stark was known throughout Westeros as an honorable man.
Speak sense to this honorable fool!
So it makes it rather strange when we realize he has a bastard child. How could such a pious individual break one of his most sacred vows? Because he was keeping his honor and trust for his sister Lyanna. Jon was not his son at all, but to keep him protected under a realm who hated anyone with a Targaryen name, he sacrificed his public reputation. And this truly expresses his strongest personality trait, his core values, the heart of Ned Stark.
He demonstrated this time and again during his short career as Hand of the King, which culminated with the self-sacrifice of his own legacy, tarnishing his name to save his family mere moments before his ultimate execution. But none of these examples compare to the promise Ned made to his sister Lyanna, the ultimate act of selflessness and loyalty, a secret that would follow him to his grave.
Like most Starks, he definitely would do well in Gryffindor, but his truest form was with the Badgers. After a short few minutes, with moderate difficulty, with the possibility of a hat stall, the Sorting Hat would finally shout,
Hufflepuff!
Of course, this is all the opinion of two fans, based on the lore of Harry Potter and Game of Thrones.
Do you agree Eddard Stark would be sorted into Hufflepuff, or do you think he would be placed in a different house? Let us know in the comments below, as always.
Peace, love, and may the Force be with you. Mischief managed.
I only did what was necessary.
The fight between Minerva McGonagall and Lucius Malfoy would be a fight of efficiency by two different means.
So I cheated a little bit. I played last night just to see how to play.